Thank you for joining us for the school year 26-27 updates for all bookkeepers and claim contacts. Your presenters for today are Erica Arter and Sean Vondracek. We are program specialists who work with the school meals programs. The slide deck and handouts for this presentation are posted on the Nutrition Services training page. We will be reviewing the handouts in packet order. Page numbers can be found in the upper right-hand corner. The first page of the handout packet is the Professional Standards Training Certificate. Complete this form and retain it for documentation of obtaining 3.5 hours of continuing education training. Annual CEUs are a requirement for all food service employees who work in the school nutrition programs. USDA does not require a specific number of CEUs for bookkeepers' claim contacts other than annual civil rights training. Our topics for today include the reimbursement rates for school year 26-27, Nebraska and federal legislative updates, resources for your use in program operations, the new look for the Nutrition Services website, completion of the school year 26-27 application packet, review of meal eligibility, including the process of direct certification, and looking at meal eligibility applications that households submit, and we will be wrapping up with other important topics. USDA released the school year 26-27 reimbursement rates in mid-July. The rates can be found under Quick Links on the Nutrition Services homepage. Rates for reimbursement were increased by 3.54% from school year 25-26. If we look at the reimbursement rates, we can see that we have for the free, the reimbursement rate is $4.76, plus we add on an additional layer of reimbursement, which is called the performance-based incentive, and that's the additional 9 cents. So the reimbursement rate for free would be $4.85. We've also included in your handout packet setting meal prices. In this handout, you will find guidance on setting the adult meal price for school year 26-27. Federal legislative highlights include the renaming of the Food Nutrition Services with the acronym of FNS to the Food Nutrition Administration with the acronym of FNA. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, has reorganized the FNS into the Food Nutrition Administration as part of a broader USDA restructuring aimed at improving efficiency, service delivery, and alignment with other federal programs. The FNA released Special Policy Memo 082026, which expanded fluid milk options in child nutrition programs. This policy memo removes the restriction that only skim or low-fat milk choices must be offered to students. It does not remove the requirement that at least 2 types of milk must be offered daily. Flavored milk must continue to meet the sugar requirements at breakfast. The Nebraska Legislative Bill 940, which goes into effect in school year 27 and 28, prohibits the use of some synthetic colors in food items used in the school breakfast and lunch programs. Examples of these food foods include colored applesauce and some processed meat. In April, the Nebraska legislature passed LB 966, establishing the Hunger-Free Schools Act pilot program for implementation in school year 26-27. This pilot program eliminates the reduced price breakfast and lunch meal cost households pay for their students in all public and non-public schools that participate in the National School Lunch and/or Breakfast programs. Schools cannot charge reduced-priced eligible students for reimbursable breakfast and lunch meals. About LB 966, the Hunger-Free Pilot Program, has been added to Attachment B, the School Meals Letter to Household, and Attachment D, the Notice of Approval Denial for All Students letters, have been updated to inform households the cost of a school lunch and breakfast meal for reduced-price student is $0. SFAs must continue to determine eligibility for students to receive reduced price meals at no cost to the household. SFAs must continue to count and claim meals in the free, reduced, and paid price categories. SFAs will continue to receive federal reimbursement based on meal eligibility for free, reduced, and paid meals. SFAs must change the reduced price meal charge in their point of sale software system to $0 for reduced price students. Charges for a la carte purchases will continue to be billed to all students' accounts regardless of student meal price eligibility. SFAs must continue to notify households of outstanding charges and enforce their specific local level charge policy. The bill does not provide funding for reduced price snacks for those schools that participate in non-area eligible after-school care snack programs. Participating schools pilot program payment to be based on the number of reduced priced eligible meals the school served in the second preceding school year. School year 2026-27 payments will be based on school year 2024 to 25 reduced price meals served. The NDE will process pilot program payments for school year 26-27 in October of 2026. There may be a second additional payment made in February of 2027 if schools served more reduced price meals to date than what were served in school year 24-25. Participating in the Community Eligibility Provision, CEP, will not receive a payment from the Hunger-Free Schools Act pilot program because they do not charge households for meals. SFAs using CEP in the school year from which payments are calculated and are now pricing schools in school year 26-27 will receive pilot program funds to cover the cost of reduced price meals. Historical meal service data will be used to estimate payments. If you need more information on LB 966, please refer to the Nutrition Services website under Meal Charge, Meal Pricing. Moving on to important resources, in your handout packet starting on page 5, you will find the Nutrition Services Staff Directory. The staff directory can also be found on the Nutrition Services homepage. Starting on page 6 through page 16, you will find a resource called Key Terms and Definitions. you will find terminology that is specific to the school meals programs. We have listed the most common terms, including the acronym, if there is one, as well as the definition of the term. This is a very useful tool for anyone not familiar with the school meals program. Important resources in your handout packet include important dates and the compliance review checklist. Important date starts on page 17 and ends on page 19. The calendar year begins on July 1st, which is the start of the program year, and ends on June 30th. This tool is an important resource to keep handy to ensure you are not missing important submission dates. There is also information at the end regarding monthly claim submission deadlines. The Compliance Review Checklist is a self-review to assist you in ensuring compliance of program regulations. As you go through the checklist, if you are unsure of a question, reach out to a program specialist for technical assistance. A new look to the Nutrition Services website. Many of the web pages have been updated to improve their user-friendliness and accessibility. Make sure you have the link to the website bookmarked for easy access. On the home page, you will find 3 options: the School Nutrition Program, the Child and Adult Care Food Program, and the Summer Food Service Program. These are the major programs under Nutrition Services. Click on the School Nutrition Program button. This is the look of the updated School Nutrition Program homepage. Here you can navigate to Nutrition Services contacts, the Child Nutrition Program CNP system, material order form, which includes required signage, and School Nutrition Program newsletters. You can also see information about our new School Nutrition Program intro guide. If you are a new food service director or bookkeeper, we recommend completing this course. It is intended to provide an introductory overview of the school nutrition programs. Over on the left-hand side of the page, you can also click on links that will take you to important dates, forms and resources, training, the CMP system, and the quick links, where you will find important information such as the reimbursement rates. If you scroll to the bottom of the School Nutrition homepage, you will find a navigation section with buttons linking to specific program pages such as the National School Lunch Program, the School Breakfast Program, the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program, After School Snack Program, and the Special Milk Program. Lower on the page are links to important dates, forms and resources, training, and grants. You can also find our email address at the bottom of these pages if you'd like to contact us with questions. This is the updated Forms and Resources page. Program operations have been divided into 4 different categories: eligibility, meal service, financial management, and procurement. Under each of these categories, additional topics that fall under the categories are bulleted. Clicking on the bulleted topic takes you to a page where more information on the topic is found, as well as the required forms. Scroll further down on the Forms and Resources page, you can find the Program Oversight section, which includes links to more information on administrative reviews, civil rights, professional standards, local school wellness policy, and the competitive food policy and smart snack standards. You can also navigate to school nutrition program policy memos and regulations found in the center of the page. As a reminder, the school meals program operates on the school year calendar of July 1st through June 30th. School year 26-27 started on July 1st, 2026. We have briefly discussed the Nutrition Services website, your location for program information and forms. There is also the Child Nutrition Program CMP System website. This is a secure website that requires a user ID and password. It is secure because it requires each SFA to submit specific information that is required to receive payment of state and federal funds. SFA that participates in the school meals program must have an authorized representative. This person typically is the superintendent of a public school, the principal in a non-public school, or this person could be the director of finance business within the SFA. The person designated as the authorized representative for the SFA is responsible for ensuring federal regulations are being adhered to in the administration and operation of the school nutrition programs for the SFA. There are other changes in staff. The authorized representative must assign administrative rights to these individuals in the CMP system. It is critical for program integrity that staff utilize their own user ID and password to enter information into the CMP system. Each page of the entered information in the CMP system is date stamped with user identification. The CMP Security Administrator Manual located on the Login page provides detailed instructions on assigning new users and updating existing accounts. We have also included in your handout packet a shorter version of these instructions. The school year 26-27 school nutrition program application was opened on July 1st. It is important for our residential child care institutions, our RCCIs, that they submit their application for approval by July 15th. For all other SFAs, the application must be submitted by August 15th. The system does not allow for submission of reimbursement claim information without the application being in approved status. Your timely submission of your application will ensure the program specialist assigned to approve your application has ample time to do so. When entering the pricing information in both the sponsor and site application, for the Hunger Free Schools Act pilot program, our schools will not charge households for reduced price breakfast or lunch meals. The reduced price for lunch and breakfast must be entered as 0 for all grade age groups in both the sponsor and site application. Important contact information on the sponsor application. The school year 25-26 contact information will roll into the school year 26-27 sponsor application. It is important to ensure the information for the 3 contacts listed on the application are up to date. These 3 contacts include the authorized representative, the on-site food service director, and the claim contact. Do not list the same person as all 3 contacts. There must be, at a minimum, 2 different individuals listed as contacts. If the contact person is new to the position, check the box that indicates they are new. This is how our office identifies staff who may need additional training on the responsibilities of their position. Ensure all phone numbers, including extensions and email addresses, are correct. Our office uses these emails to send out important updates from our office. To answer the questions in the sponsor application may populate items that are needed to be uploaded in the checklist summary section of the application. As you upload these documents, make sure you mark the box indicating the documentation has been submitted to NDE. Even if you upload all the required documents but fail to mark the box, the application cannot be approved and will be returned to you for correction. The entire application packet, which includes the sponsor application, the site application. If you have more than one site, it will be several different site applications. The checklist summary, the documents that are required to be uploaded, as well as any additional documents to submit. If all the information has been completed in the application packet, the red Submit for Approval button will appear. You click the button to submit the application packet to the program specialist assigned to approve your application packet. For more detailed instructions on how to complete the application, please refer to the 26-27 application guide included in your handout packet. Submitting the application for approval, non-public schools, residential child care institutions, RCCIs, and ESUs must complete the annual financial report. The report is found under the school year 26-27 application tab in the CMP system. Financial information reported is from July 1st of 2025 through June 30th of 2026. So you are reporting information from the previous school year. Included in your handout packet are detailed instructions for completing the report. Once again, the instructions only are for use by non-public schools, RCCIs, and ESUs. As a reminder, line 28 of the report, net cash resources, must be zero or a positive dollar value. Failure to complete this report will result in a hold placed on payments for claims for reimbursement. Public schools submit this information on the school district's annual financial report, the AFR, to NDE. It is not completed within the CMP system. The due date for the AFR completion is November 1st. Do not submit this information into the CMP system. Area under the application tab I want to address is the food safety inspections. While completion of this form isn't required until October 15th, our office encourages its completion at the same time as completing the application. The form requires the reporting of the number of health inspections received for the previous school year for each site. You will be reporting for school year 25-26. You will be reporting if the site had 2, 1, or 0 health inspections. Any of these numbers are acceptable to report. Nutrition Services is required to report this information to the USDA National Office annually. Failure to complete this report by the required October 15th deadline will result in a hold being placed on the claim for reimbursement.